Hey guys, so I'm back to do one more prediction before election day tomorrow with my little buddy Neptune here. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content. Actually, mostly crime. This is only like probably a one-time thing. Who knows where Spirit's going to take me next. But I've posted political predictions already and I've posted explanations to them and whatnot. But I'm just going to basically do a rundown on what I feel, what I've gotten, just the outline of everything, but you're welcome to see the videos, and all the ways to support me are down below. There's a lot of cool astrology sweatshirts out, so if you want to check out the merchandise store, feel free to do that. Christmas is coming up. So for those of you who have not, and I'm just going to kind of read my post, and if I get anything extra, I'll let you know. But I'm going to read it that I posted because I know a lot of people aren't going to see that. And if you don't like this, then don't watch it. If you don't agree, I don't know what to tell you. It's a psychic prediction. The astrology aligns. I don't know what to tell you. If you're MAGA and you don't like it, I don't know what to say. This is how it is. So just see my previous videos with the ball going off to validate what I'm telling you. Hopefully they'll set it off tonight. So again, for those of you who've not seen the videos and predictions, or you want just the basic rundown, a younger person becomes president. This was before Kamala was brought into the picture. I just couldn't see it. I could just more or less feel the energy. Carmela is what I like to call her, but it's really Kamala. I know. But I like to call her Carmela because as I call will win. I see her at a podium with confetti. This was a prediction or a vision that I saw a few months ago. Spirit has assured me she will win and is ready via what the balls have stated in one of the videos, invalidating that. And I've seen her stepping into her crown as a queen, and Trump's crown falls off. As I always say, the king will fall. That came in the readings. And it's funny because with how he treats women, this is going to be a good karma for a woman to beat him. Also, this is the time for women, period. Pluto going into Aquarius is a very revolutionary time for women, not just as president, but all around the world for different things. It's time for us to stand up for ourselves and stand up for our rights. More skeletons, I feel, will come out, and we may get some more on the Epstein files or more about Epstein. There may be more recordings come out, which is interesting because I did say that about skeletons. October had a lot of skeletons. I know people don't care when they're MAGA. They make excuses, but they still came out. Epstein was recorded by a journalist, and so those are coming out. So I like to think that all of that is skeletons, and that's still giving look into Trump. And if you have not seen those and you want to, I suggest you do so. It gives you a little bit of insight into who he is, and if you don't want to believe it, don't know what to say. There's some people you can't convince of anything, I've learned. So anyways, I feel the other things he's been into, stuff that's been hidden, maybe more cahoots with Russia, maybe more other conning, maybe more funneling money, just like stuff might start coming out that we find or that gets figured out. Like the king will fall, but I know there's still going to be people that follow him, whatever. But there will be delays, as all of us psychics have gotten, but I've been getting it since the beginning, months ago when I did it. Possible violence and riots, because I always saw riots with him. It's basically always a dark fighting the light, and this is a dark and light battle. And I don't care if people like it. Like, she was fated to get into this position. The divine feminine is rising up. I'm gonna have to fix my post. It's got mess ups on it. Pluto is going into Aquarius again, which is always revolutionary for women. USA is going into the Uranus return next year. So regardless who your president is, this is always a time for revolutions in the past, such as the French Revolution, the American Revolution, always happened during Uranus return. Has nothing to do with who the president is, but we do have free will. However, revolution is always growth. Sometimes things have to fail before we rebuild. Sometimes that's a period of growth, no different than your Saturn return. Also, something's going on with Trump's health. I think he's got multiple things, and his heart. He may do either some jail time or some kind of punishment, or at least be in court, as I've seen that. Back in my Autowrites, years ago, they crossed Trump's name out. My friend Lizzie thought that had something to do with him being crossed off the ballot. I really think it's just he's not going to win, and he's out of here, and That was stated years ago before I ever got into it. So you can go back in the Autowrites and see that. But I always get reminded of his name crossed out. But I don't know, because I've seen him fall back from a podium at some point holding his chest, and I always can't breathe when I kind of tap into this energy. That doesn't mean there's not other issues. I also feel he's got, some cognitive issues going on. So he might even have cancer. I kind of get that with him. There might be a blood flow issue, but there is some legal issues either with the election or due to Trump, but probably both. I agree with the astrology for 2 terms for her. Spirit's kind of validated that for me. I mean, the astrology said it, but I just agree with it. I think she's going to do better than what people think. She is a president for the people. She's not perfect, but no one is. That's unrealistic for anybody to think that. I feel like she wants to do the best that she can. And I also feel a landslide energy, or she will win by more than what people originally thought, because I think the polls are not accurate. US is ready for a change. The feel good energy, I saw them dancing at her rally yesterday. It's such a contrast between light and dark. The people are different. The energy is different. I always say to MAGA, like, step into the light. I hope you can see things for what they are. I've always seen he was the Antichrist. He is an Antichrist. I've always seen destruction with him, and he's had given destruction. If you open your eyes and you see, there has been nothing but destruction with him, hate and separation. So it's time for the US to, we're taking our control back from somebody that wants to be a dictator and it was all about controlling himself, and giving it to somebody else, and a woman, which will be also historical. There's a lot of people that had it with January 6th and they don't want to repeat, which it's not going to be exactly the same, but I think there will be stuff that happens, little riots, or his people are a little crazy like he is. So remember, like attracts like, negative energy spreads, hate spreads. That's what he spreads. And if you don't watch him and you don't recognize this, then I don't know what to tell you. But there's such a difference in the energy. It's like light and dark. It's such a contrast. And I think the US is good and ready for good energy and a woman to take the reins. Women can be strong. Women can be powerful. And she's worked her way up, whether you think so or not. Like a duck, quack like a duck. Talking to you and admitting that. And if that's okay with you and that's what you want your kids growing up to see, that's fine with you. You have free will to make your own decisions. But don't come and attack me for it. And don't laugh. I have people in the group laughing at factual information and predictions, and it's kind of irritating me. But that just shows where the maturity level is of some of the people that follow him. When I say so, I'm sorry. I've had it with misinformation, people being a bit blind about things. And again, this is probably going to lose me subs at this point. Who freaking cares? I lost 300 subs. And one day you guys will see what I'm talking about. And maybe you'll wake up and maybe you'll be deprogrammed and out of the cult, because that's what it is. It's called Trumpism. It's literally a term for this. And it has been, all I know is I'm not saying that she's perfect, but she is, and I'm not saying she hasn't made mistakes. Everybody has, but as long as you're trying to grow, evolve, and be a better person, which there's only one person in this race that is, they're not sitting there airing their grievances, talking crap, throwing out hate towards races and people and the media, and not talking about policies that are going to cost an $8.5 trillion deficit. So I just had to throw that out there because it's a lot of the stuff that I've been dealing with comments and misinformation. I just tell people to do their research. I don't need to do your research for you. Just do your research. But I really do think he has heart issues because my arm is falling asleep. I can't help it. And then I've been saying that for quite a while. And I did find out that he did have a hospital stay, I think last election. And they're saying, they tried to say it was his heart. And he's like, no, it wasn't. It was for a checkup. Who goes to the hospital for a checkup? Just saying. So there's something going on there. They said he had like a really bad heart issue back then, and about 5 years it was going to cause an issue, and that's coming up. And that was just something I found validated just recently. Been saying that for quite a while with him because I always feel it. Not that I wish bad on anybody, so don't turn it around and say it. I'm just giving you what I get, like I do in all readings. This is no different than a case that I work or anything else. I tell you how it is. I'm blunt, I'm straightforward. I'm an Aquarius. And I wasn't going to actually do like this video, but I was like, you know what? Tomorrow's election day. I don't know if everybody's seen it. I want to put my prediction out in case any of this stuff happens. So I'm not perfect, but the astrology backs it all up. I've posted several videos on that, and they back up a lot with also the Uranus return and stuff. As far as, I mean, I learned it from the astrology, but I mean, you can go watch it and learn about it if you want to. So I think that's about it. I always feel like I can't breathe for all of a sudden with him. So um, I pray that people are compassionate to one another, kind to one another, love one another, regardless of your beliefs. I try to be patient and loving and kind until things are disrespected or victims are blamed. And then it's like, I can't deal. My biggest, my biggest thing is the victim shaming. I can't deal with it. But anyways, I hope that, yes, I know. I hope that everybody is safe out there. And again, love your neighbor, be kind to one another, and try to be understanding of one another, and try to spread love and not hate and division, and realize that there is fated events that are supposed to happen. This is what she was born for. Our astrology lines up with our blueprints. This is what she was born for. Just because you has a just as you have a path, she has a path. He's the catalyst to cause that path. That's fine. But just as you have a path, she has a path. My whole point for all of these videos and everything I've done is to try to get people to wake up and see what they condone. Do they condone the dark, or do they condone the light? Do they condone dark things and dark mannerisms and hate and division, or do they condone light and happiness and energy? And um, you know, people can have people at their rallies just because they're popular. There might not be a motive behind it. So I believe in conspiracies, but I'm not all into the crazy ass conspiracies that everybody tries to make everything into a conspiracy. Not that some of it doesn't exist, but, and there's not things that don't exist. I'm not saying that, but, and just because people are in government doesn't mean they're involved. Just because they're a politician, you can't put them in the same box. I've been saying that for months. So again, she was put in this position at this time because she chose to be put here. She's strong enough to be put here. This is what she decided with her guides. This is what she decided with her path, her life's path, and her life purpose. And he's doing what he decided with his life path and life purpose. And all of you are doing what you decide with your life path and life purpose, hopefully. So you have to understand that this is fated, whether you want it or not. So you don't need to come and hate at me, because this is a spiritual crime channel. And as I've always said, I give you what spirit gives me, and I would never support somebody as dark and that is a criminal or that abuses women. This is a crime, justice, spiritual channel. Why would anybody ever think that? So if you like that side, you can keep it to yourself. You can go do what you want to do. But we try to spread light, love, and positivity, not negative rhetoric and lies. And I don't even know where I'm going with this. A lot of the times I go off on tangents. Damn, being an air sign. But now my ear just started ringing. Oh Lord, this is Rachelle After Dark, blowing up her channel again. So I decided to add this part in, and I wasn't going to, but I got to thinking that I think it's really important that I say some truths, even though they're my opinions. And I really do try to respect everyone's opinions if people follow a person like, or I don't even want to call him a person, but someone like him. But the problem, and I try to understand, but the problem that I have with this is I fight for justice every single day. I believe victims, and I could never consciously or morally support somebody who has victims in the way that he does. I don't get how people can support a rapist who spreads hate and divisions and wants to decimate our economy. Even Elon Musk has come out and stated so. I don't want, and this was hard for me to talk about, so I think Spirit's validating that it's okay to do so. I don't want people to lose their social security and to have it decimated. I don't want to be in recession by next year. And you can go and do your own research like I tell people to do. I don't want a 2025 dictatorship where people lose rights and people are in control and women are all of a sudden taken back to the 1930s. I want people to have rights. I want people to love who they want to love. I feel that everybody is the same. We all have the same colored soul. There's no race, there's no sex, there's nothing that should divide us because we're all the same color on the inside. We're all the spirit. We're just living in this human body and experiencing things from different races and whatnot, but we should all be united. So I want all people to have rights. I want women to not be dying because they can't have care, or infants to not be dying because they can't have care. It goes beyond abortion. And I believe in soul contracts. The women and the kid choose that. The baby's fine. He's going to come back one day anyways. Like, the soul's on the other side. The soul's not in the body at that time. That's just going quickly about that. But that's not what it's about. Women are dying, and even infants are dying. And people's rights shouldn't change just because they cross a state line. Thank you, Spirit. I've been waiting for them to validate. Maybe I didn't have the ball on all the way earlier. I don't want to pay $4,000 a month in tariff tax. I don't want a rapist with a God complex and control issues that attacked our own capital and didn't care about his own vice president to be in the White House. I don't want a malignant narcissist that has no empathy for anybody. And he has been said that by many psychologists, not just one. If people know what a malignant narcissist is, and he's angry, it's been said that he has a bad temper, and I totally feel that from him. I want someone for the people, and someone who gives a crap about rights, about us, about unity. I don't want a man that ripped his wife's hair out and sexually assaulted her and has been found liable of sexual assault and has admitted it to everybody that he's done it, to be president. That's not presidential. We're ignoring the victims on that. And it's sad that everybody is...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Everybody is talking about this man like he's God or something. And there's victims that he has hurt. And he takes what he wants, and he's admitted to that. I will never understand people that condone his behavior or understand why people do. I don't understand why people make excuses and say, oh, he didn't mean to say that. He didn't mean it like this. He has the same amount of words and the same kind of words that we do. If I were to speak in any certain way that he did, or if Biden or if Harris or if anybody were to speak the way that he did, you people would want them in jail. That's what's crazy to me. If we look at what he really did last time, he really didn't do much. Just go do your research on policies and all of that, because people keep saying they were better back then. But the mishandling of COVID and the mishandling of natural disasters, where he refused aid to Puerto Rico, he refused aid to California for a week. Go do your research. Again, it's not just about yourself and what you think he can do for you, because he didn't do it last time. He's not going to do it this time. He's had a concept of a plan for healthcare for 10 years. If he got rid of that healthcare, a lot of people would lose their healthcare. Thank you, Spirit. I don't understand why people condone him talking about, regardless of how he meant it, putting weapons on a woman. I know you say how he meant it, but it's still not right. He doesn't speak in a presidential manner. He's not for the people. He's against the people. He's only for himself, as a malignant narcissist can be, and that's how he is. He shows himself over and over to people. He's bankrupted 6 companies. He's made he's grifting as he's in a. Have you ever seen any other president trying to sell $100,000 watches or assassination shoes? Someone was unalived during that time, but he's trying to profit off of it and make it about him. You can't even see the scar on his ear. If you see Joe Rogan, ask him where it is. So I want somebody that cares about you, that cares about me, that cares about transgender rights, that cares about women's rights. We need a woman right now. We need a woman to stand up for our rights, because women are dying. Infants are dying. Look at the mortality rate. It's gone up. It doesn't matter if you believe in abortion or not. It's not your body. No one should have to worry about what's going to happen to them in that situation. Nobody should have to worry that they can't love who they want to love. Nobody should have to worry that we're going to go backwards to 1930s. If you think it's starting with just abortion rights, it's going to go, then women can't vote, then they got to stay home. If you read any of 2025, all you people that support him, no one, I bet you none of you have read or watched 2025. I bet you none of you have read or watched January 6th. And I say watch because people read the documents. So if you don't want to read them yourself, you can go listen to them. Is it okay with people that somebody would allow an attack on the Capitol and sit there and do nothing? It's not okay. Nothing that he does is okay. Say that he wants people to, like, he would rather the fake news get shot through than him. Like, the way that he says things, he demonizes races. You know, he talks about the Haitian community, but yet they came in under his administration. So I did my research over the past couple months, but regardless of all of that, I don't want a predator as president. I don't want somebody that abused their wife and ripped out her hair as president. As a domestic violence victim myself, I know a narcissist when I see one. I've channeled tons of them. I've seen them in cases. I know how they are. I've seen the anger and feel the energy of him. And I cannot condone people that support him or understand it. That doesn't mean you can't go do it yourself. You have your free will to do it yourself. I'm just saying, on this channel, I try to fight for justice and be a voice for victims. And it doesn't matter, like, if you don't want to support a woman as a president or you don't want to support her as president. My point is, it's not even about politics. It's about right and wrong. It's country above party. He, in his ideas, what policies he does have will again decimate the economy. He's working with Russia right now. They're having fake things happening with Russia, just like before in 2016 when Russia leaked some documents that were emails when the Katie Johnson stuff was going on, to take the heat off of that. And the Katie Johnson was ignored because there's not enough proof or enough evidence, because women's voices don't have power. Yet he's sitting there telling you. I cannot support somebody that was aligned with Epstein in the way that I feel he was aligned with him. I cannot support somebody that just has the personality and the ethics that he has. I have morals, I have ethics, and I would never go against what I feel is right. Just for promises that I know aren't going to be fulfilled, because they weren't fulfilled before. He told you guys this before. He never did it. But he, the wall. Okay, he never built the wall. Mexico never paid for the wall. And in case a lot of people don't know, there was a charity that was made for the wall, and they had millions of dollars in that charity. Well, his buddy funneled the money out of that charity. And if people don't think he didn't get a piece of that, sure, you got another thing coming, because he ended up pardoning that guy before he left presidency. He pardoned the most people before he left, people that were for his benefit. If he gets in office, he will pardon himself, and he's not going to, but he would pardon himself for his crimes for January 6th. That is treason. That is attack on your own capital. If the fact that he's a sexual predator is not enough for you, then that should be enough. That's an attack on our own democracy. Again, right is right and wrong is wrong. How do people, what I don't understand is how people ignore all of this and think that he's a good person and that he's a good president, when even The Apprentice said he wasn't a good businessman, that they just boosted him up because they had to for TV, and they didn't like him. He wasn't a nice guy. You have multiple people saying he's a nice guy. You have generals saying that he's dangerous. You have people that have worked with him telling you he's dangerous, and it gets ignored. So I was going to get off here because I'm trying to get around and go to bed early tonight so I can go to my mom's early tomorrow because it's getting cold late. And I had made my other video, and I had wrote this comment, and I said, you know what? I would like to make my opinions known for people that maybe don't know this. This is factual information that I'm telling you. You can go research and find it yourself. And if you haven't seen the balls validating, I don't know what to tell you. Spirit said, go ahead and do it. So I did, with the risk of probably blowing up my channel again. But again, we fight for justice here. And after everything he's done, I've done a whole criminal. I mean, the bear went off 5 times during the criminal channel. Ivana, in case nobody knows, her NDA was going to run out the next day. She fell down the stairs, and the next day her NDA ran out, and she was going to testify against him in court or start talking out about him. Anybody find that suspicious? Sure, if it was Harris or somebody else, you guys would think it was suspicious. There's lots of things that I feel and see about him that you guys don't. And I'm not telling you to take my word for it from a spiritual standpoint. I'm telling you to go do your research. And I've been telling you guys to go do your research. That Spirit is warning for a reason. He's a dangerous man. He's a vile man. He spews hate and division. And he doesn't care about anybody but himself. And he doesn't watch what he says. And what he's saying to you is he's speaking words of brainwashing, the way that Hitler spoke. And I don't care if people don't see it. Poisoning the blood is rhetoric that person used. He uses the same thing. That's what he wants, is power and control. He's been on tape saying, I want the same generals Hitler had. I'm sorry, but I'm of the light. I work in the light. I have to step into the dark to see some of the most horrible things that, even though I don't see them as clearly as they happen, I still see them. And that's my choice. That's my path. That's my decision. And when I tell you someone is an antichrist and I see evil in him and that I see darkness, and then all of this pattern backs up of a criminal, a sexual assaultist, somebody that's evil and vile and has no morals and has a God complex and wants to control. If you guys can't see that, like, man, I don't know. I don't know how you can't. I don't understand how people can't. Look at The Economist and what they're saying with his economy versus Kamala's economy. I mean, Elon's even admitting it to your guys' faces. So I guess people will vote tomorrow. And I hope that you have morals and ethics and you're not just looking at other things, that you are going to vote for the best person that you think can do the best job. Remember that this is a criminal versus a prosecutor. She has been in Senate. She knows how things work. She has been a prosecutor. She has been attorney general. She has actually held offices. What has he done? Bankrupt companies and be on a reality show. I mean, he had Russian people living in Trump Tower, and Diddy and all that stayed there. Like, he surrounded himself with the people that everybody else wants to throw stones at, but yet ignore that he surrounded himself by him and does the same sort of things. He was allegedly trafficking, bringing escorts from China and bringing young models around old men, which is the same thing that Epstein did. If you don't think they weren't in cahoots. And I just will say this because I felt it very strongly in the reading that I did. Who had the most to lose at the time of Epstein's demise? Who was president and who was becoming president, and Katie Johnson had just come out. Just want you to think about that for a minute. This is a person you do not see the correct person. You see who Trump wants you to see most of the time. People that have their open eyes can see him for who he is, but people that don't have their eyes open can't. They can't see through the mask. Behind closed doors, he throws things, he yells at people, he's mean, he's spiteful. Think of a narcissist. If any of you have ever had a narcissist in your life, now think of the worst kind of narcissist, the malignant narcissist. They have no empathy, they have no compassion. Do you really want somebody running your country that has no empathy and compassion for you or your family? Who doesn't know anything about the child care system, who can't even answer a straight question, but walks around the question because he doesn't know the answer, because he doesn't have a plan. His plan is to stay out of prison, because if he gets in, he can pardon himself. That's all he cares about. He's not about making America great again. It's never been fully great. We've always had trials and tribulations, and we always will, but America is not dying. I see compassion every day. I see love every day. We struggle. We all struggle in our lives, but that's also our path. The government isn't always going to save us from that. We still have lessons we have to learn and things we have to do to evolve. But our economy came from 9% at the pandemic when Biden took over and opened back up the economy, now to 2.4%. Look at the numbers. Our stock market is all-time high, and it has been for months. Millions of jobs are being made, and they have new factories coming up that are building batteries and stuff. We're looking for clean energy because we have to. Whether you want to believe it or not, I would rather go for somebody that's wanting clean energy versus somebody that thinks that it's a hoax, because I know for a fact our ozone layer and our earth can only take so much. Our earth is energy, and when you put poison into the energy and poison into the earth, it's a living thing, right? When you have a plant and you were to put it in a place with, and Spirit showing me this, put it in like this bubble, and you put like smoke from oil in there, what do you think is going to happen to that plant? It'll probably die. Would you want to, there's just so much that's going on with the earth that needs to be taken care of. We need to save it for our children and our children's children. So you also need to think about that. Who is for clean energy instead of drill, 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 baby? But above all, this is about ethics. This is about morals. This is about someone that cares about people. This is not about someone that puts on a show. Like, his debate has the most people. He was supposed to say rallies. It shows you he's a 78-year-old man that wears diapers. A vote for him is a vote for Vance. And I mean, I don't have to really worry about this because I feel like Kamala is going to win by a landslide. But there might be fighting for that. But this is about, again, not about politics. This is about what you condone just in your life. Things that you see in a person. Would you allow any of this in a friend, in a family member, in a son or a daughter? Our children are watching. What do you want your children to see? Do you want to see a woman that's president? For one, that's great for our daughters, right? They're hopeful. And God forbid your daughter ever needs some kind of medical care and they're turned away under the Trump. But under Harris, at least you can get that medical care. That's important. But not only that, what kind of leader do you want your children to grow up and see? Do you want your children to grow up and see a leader like I just described with Trump? Or do you want a leader to grow up and see somebody that is preaching unity and growth and promise? It doesn't even matter if she keeps all her promises. It's that she's going to try her hardest. And I think people need to give her a chance because her astrology chart states that she's going to do a lot better than people think. And anybody that has that positive energy behind them that puts that work towards it is capable of so much. Just like me, you know, if I were to put so much work towards this channel, which I'm trying to, then, you know, there's going to be growth. Same thing there. As long as she's doing her job and she's putting that powerful energy, good energy behind something, it'll grow. What's the difference between positive and negative energy? When you put positive energy behind something, it grows. When you put negative behind something, it doesn't. It goes down. It's low energy. It's low vibe. People that follow that side, I hate to divide, but it is. It's a light versus dark. And people that follow that energy are going to follow low level energy, low vibration. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to see people do that. It breaks my heart to see somebody condone this behavior when they wouldn't condone it in anybody else. They wouldn't condone it in their son. You wouldn't condone your son abusing a woman and sexually assaulting a woman and being a leader for hate and division and rioting. And he's conned people. He's funneled money out of charities. There's lots of stuff he's done. He took money from Egypt. They bought the election last time, allegedly. You know, he's hanging out with sex traffickers. I mean, would you want your children? How would you look at your son or if they were doing something like that? That's how I say, like, what are people condoning this for? I don't understand. Are they just so blind? Are their heads in the clouds? Are they seeing with rose-colored glasses? I can't for the life of me understand it. And I guess that's because I'm a high vibration and I see things for what they are. And I know that a lot of people on the channel are high vibration and they see things for what they are. If you've ever been with a narcissist, you would know, like, you know how they really are. You know how they can fool everybody and be charming to everybody. But behind closed doors, there's somebody completely different. However, he's being a narcissist right to people's faces and they don't even care. Again, as Spirit has said, America has been in an abusive relationship for 9 years without realizing it. He controls off of fear and hate, and he can only save you. Who does that sound like? I know, I've been there. It sounds like an abusive partner. Only he can save you. Don't leave, because if you leave, something will happen. Brainwashing. It's time to leave that. It's time to leave that abusive relationship. It's time to say goodbye to the past. It's time to go forward, not backwards. He had his chance. He didn't do much. You can look it up. And in the history books, who do you want to really see? Our first woman president that has capabilities to try to bring us forward and to get us our rights back? Or do we want to go back to 1930? And that's what 2025 is. So I think I've made my point. My point isn't about politics. My point is about what people condone from somebody and what they allow and where their ethics and morals are. And that's all I've tried to talk about for months, because it hurts me to see people condone these actions. It hurts me to see people stand in the dark when we're standing in the light with open arms. So I send you love and light. I appreciate you all. And please take care of yourself. If people can't feel the energy, I don't know what to tell you. I hope that you raise your vibration and see a difference in the energy. See a difference what's being put out there. See a difference in what's light and what's dark. I hope. So I love you all. Hope you don't all hate me now. And I guess I'll see you next time. Oh, if you haven't already and you would like to, please hit the like and subscribe button.